before we roll into any of these, give us a crash course as an image analyst. What do you look for when you're looking at this kind of footage? What's the test, the tests that you run? And of course, we understand you can't speak about anything classified or anything that kind of relates to classified processes or whatever. But is there a way of kind of explaining to us what you do in your professional job?
Yeah. So the first thing, if I get a video or an image, I look at the whole thing multiple times and don't take it for face value anymore. It's sometimes when you look at things like one of the videos that you're going to show is the 8-pointed star. Face value, whoa, that's crazy. And then when you actually hit the play button, that tells a different story. So when you look at all of the data that you have to think about each point, right? Unfortunately, they didn't release any metadata or any background data for the videos, include like weather data is important as well. But I understand because of it being from a classified sensor and a classified platform, because you don't want, like maybe I should say we as in the US and allies don't want our adversaries having our technology. So we wouldn't want them having our sensor data if they don't have it already. So
right.
Again, not releasing metadata, also really frustrating from a scientist because that's super important to look at it. So I feel like I'm like, like the judgment thing, the weigh scales, like balanced right now because I don't want our sensitive proprietary information out, but I also want it out so we could properly analyze the data. So that's what I would do. I would look at it as a whole a few times. I would start researching weather, what the wind was like, the cloud level. I would start those would be my first steps. And then it would be, of course, the location, reaching out to people, analysts that might be more familiar in the area, who reported this. So was it a person? Was it a pilot? And reach out to them to get more information from them. Like, did they have emotions and feelings while they saw some of these? Because that is also a big factor. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that.
Sure. But in general, like people can look at this stuff and I would imagine come to a pretty good conclusion on their own without having a big technical background, right? Like it's some of this stuff I think is probably pretty obvious, right?
Oh, absolutely. Some of it I immediately, like I said, the 8-pointed star, when you first see it, you're like, whoa, that's crazy. And then when you see the entire video, you're like, something's not right here. The mathing. And you could easily pick up that it's likely not a UAP.
Right. Okay. So let's dig into some of this here. Okay. So
excited! Thank you for having me on to do this.
Oh no, you absolutely. So I'm a little bit disorganized today, but try and get my act together. Okay. So this one is it's a unresolved UAP report in the Middle East. So I'm going to play it here, and just feel free to comment or. And this thing will be on a loop. So yeah, so here's this one. And again, this is all on a loop. So
not gonna lie, on my screen that's really hard to see.
There's shoot.
Okay, so that's the 8-pointed star that I was talking about. You can see the smoke trail. And then off into, I don't know which side people are seeing this, but on one of the sides, you could see something that's like kind of floating. It was pretty quickly debunked, like it was a parachute and a flare. But that, so when you have an IR, a thermal camera, there's pixel saturation and different levels of saturation mean different things. And then again, if you had the metadata, you could actually measure the hotness of some of it and do more nerdy things with the data that way. But from me just looking at this without hitting play on this video the first time I saw it, I immediately knew this was not a UAP because of the significant pixel saturation. Oh, there it goes. So you can see like the little parachute up there.
Oh, yeah.
And because of that 8-pointed star that's significant pixel saturation, and so it creates the starburst. And that's similar to there's a really famous Hubble image that was taken, I think, in the mid 90s or something. I forget when, mid to late 90s, and it's of like thousands of galaxies in the image, and then a couple of stars. You could easily pick out which are the stars in the image because they have a smaller starburst pattern like that. This is more because it's hot. The stars aren't as hot because there's so much distance there. But yeah, so there's a little bit of image analyst work there for you, and image scientist, actually.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Now that was definitely interesting. Okay. Number 2 here. This is, from what I understand, first ever AFRICOM video. What is AFRICOM?
Africa Command. So the military breaks up some branches of support. So you have CENTCOM, Central Command, AFRICOM, Africa. So there's different regions of throughout the world that is divided. So when you say CENTCOM, you know that's the Middle East.
Okay.
Or Levant.
Okay.
I don't know what the proper term is anymore. Sorry if I got that wrong.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so let's see here. This is video number 2. Now, this one's pretty short. It just looks like there's something sort of shooting down. You can barely see it at the bottom of the screen.
I can't even see it on my screen. For some reason, the only thing I see on the main screen for me is the web page.
Okay, that's, I think I know why. Hold on one second. Let's see. I'm going to dump out of this.
So while we're holding on, I could actually talk if that's okay.
Sure, yeah.
I was, so regarding the whole, there it is. I can hold off on what I was going to say because it's there.
Oh, okay. Go for it. So all I see is just at the very bottom a white dot kind of floating by, sort of unremarkable.
Yeah. So things like this, like when we would get similar things during the task force days, it was hard to prove or disprove because it was so quick. And then you also don't know so many factors. Of course, like all the data is blocked out there, right? So you don't know altitude, you don't know speed, you don't know anything regarding this sensor and this platform from what we could see here. But you would start looking more into, okay, that was probably a bird type things. It might not be duplicated. It was really small. So that would necessarily be unidentified, as in it's a UAP, but unidentified as in we just don't have enough data to say what it is or what it isn't.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so let's see here. Next one. So this is Unresolved UAP Report, Department of the Army, 2026. The location is North America. It's most recent incident in this release. Department of the Army submitter said it was rare. So let's see here. So this is what, number 3. What are we looking at? Hold on, did I lose you?
No, I'm just looking. I'm sorry. So it
that's
looks
okay.
To me like I don't know, it looks like a boat to me. People probably aren't happy with this, but there's some sort of, because it's so bright, you see like a light pattern that's above. So that again kind of goes with oh gosh, it's not going to be the right term. It's not pixel saturation, but I forget the right term for that. I don't know if I looked at this one the other day. That is really funny. I could have swore I looked at everything.
No, that's okay. So yeah, it's again, it's like really kind of hard to tell like what is going on with this. Almost like when I'm looking at it, it's sort of like looks like two car headlights, but there really isn't. I'm just kind of looking here at the description.
Honestly, what it also looks like to me, because when I was in North Carolina at looking at the Brown Mountain Lights, it looks, whenever you're looking through like night vision, it looks like two hikers with headlamps on. Like that's what that looked like to me. But I'm not saying that's what that is, of course, but I'm just saying it resembles it. Um, I don't I don't know. Does the report say if it's in the air? See, that's
Uh,
again, you can't see any metadata. You don't know if you're looking at water, if you're looking at
yeah. You know what? I'm not quite sure on this one. So, and
because that looks like a boat.
mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
he went back to me. Ugh, my face
yeah.
was right in the camera.
Hold on a second. I'll bring it back up again. Yeah, because it almost sort of looks like you have the two sort of main circles, but then if you look circles of light, but then if you look below it, it looks like they're being reflected off of a surface.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it's almost like the wake as well. Like if this is a boat, so I again, no metadata, you can't tell, so it's really frustrating. But it does look like it's looking at water. Looks
And
almost like a wake is behind it. Perhaps the moon's illuminating or something.
mhm.
But that doesn't
and you
look like it's unidentified. It's like it doesn't look like a UAP to me, and it's not moving, erratically. But you don't know if it's parallax either because there's no metadata.
Right. Okay. And you've described this as kind of like flipping through a Rolodex of known explanations until there's something that doesn't fit. Like obviously you're looking at this right now and you're like, yep, it looks like a boat. So how often would you say that stuff you in the UAP world that you've come across, like if you were to assign a percentage of stuff that you were able to assign a prosaic explanation to, what would that percentage be versus like the stuff you look at and you're like, I don't know what that is?
Yeah, I never like putting a percentage on this because I make it up on the spot because it's really small and people work in numbers. So it's to me just really frustrating that I mean I really don't know, but it's a really small percentage. So like 5 to 10% or actually like 5% or less type thing. Because a lot of them are just like the data that we see on the website right now. It's inconclusive, right? Like you don't know if one of them is a balloon floating on the wind or parallax, or if it's a bird in parallax, because so parallax, for those that don't know, is when the objects right in front of you, they seem to be moving at a different speed than something behind you. So it's like when you're riding in a car and you're looking out, the stuff right on the side of the road looks to be moving really fast, but if you're looking at Mount Rainier or a mountain in the background, that doesn't look to be moving much at all. So that's parallax, the different types of movement according to your reference point, which is your eyeballs or the sensor.
Okay, got it.